Then on Sports Central, we go for our first scheduled preview this offseason, and it's going to be over the defending national champions, Michigan Wolverines. An incredible 2023 season for Michigan. Start to finish, this was the most dominant team in the country, a well-deserved national title for a team that really had an incredible run the past 3 years. But let's look forward to 2024 in this video. What is this team going to look like in 2024? And obviously a lot has changed with Michigan. Jim Harbaugh to the NFL, and also you consider the experience and the talent that Michigan has lost. This is a team that's definitely expected to drop off a bit in 2024, but what can we expect for the future of Michigan? What's this team going to look like in 2024? We'll be talking about it here today, looking at this team top to bottom and looking at the returning production and previewing their schedule for the first time this offseason. Let's get started. Looking at 2023, once again, just an incredible season. This team was dominant start to finish, and we knew, this team was a bit overshadowed by Georgia for really a good chunk of the season until the SEC title game when Georgia finally took a loss. But when you look at especially the first 8 games of the season for Michigan, this team didn't allow more than 10 points to any team, and they were dominant in every single one of those games. And really throughout the entire season, they took on Penn State and Ohio State in November. That's really where we found out that Michigan was a for-real team that could really win a national championship. And then you saw this team beat Iowa 26-0 in the Big Ten title game. This defense was incredible last season. That's really without a doubt. And then you look at the Rose Bowl, beating Alabama 27-20. It seemed as if, this could have been one of those years where Alabama came in as the 4th seed in the college football playoff to win it all, but Michigan shut that down real quick and then beat Washington 34-13 for the national championship. So just an incredible, unforgettable season for Michigan, 15-0 on the year. But let's look forward to 2024 now with your roster preview. Looking forward to this season. J.J. McCarthy obviously gone. This team was pretty experienced last season. They were, that's a big reason why they were so successful, was because of the experience of obviously the 2 college football playoff seasons prior to 2023, but returning all those players. And but things will be different in 2024. J.J. McCarthy gone, Blake Corum gone, Roman Wilson gone, Cornelius Johnson, A.J. Barner, 5 on the offensive line, and even the defense losing 2 on the D-line, 2 linebackers, and 3 in the secondary. This team's going to look a lot different in 2024, and also, we'll talk about the transfer portal in a sec, but this team really hasn't added too much. So this will definitely be a younger team in 2024, but, that doesn't necessarily mean this team is going to be bad. Because this is still a team with a lot of depth, and they're gonna. These players have been playing behind these starters that had such incredible seasons here, or back in 2023. So, but McCarthy, 22 touchdowns, over 4 picks. He really wasn't a major standout at quarterback. He really did his job, and he didn't turn over the ball too much, which was obviously huge. And Blake Corum was probably the main standout offensively for this team with 1,300 yards and 28 overall touchdowns on the season. Just an incredible season for Blake Corum especially. He's got, I would say, a really bright future. But then you look at, obviously, Jim Harbaugh to the NFL. Sherrone Moore is the new head coach of this team, and we saw him coaching earlier in the season when Jim Harbaugh was suspended. So we have seen him before with Michigan, and I feel like he's going to have a bright future for the Wolverines, but obviously not having Harbaugh in there, who led this team to so much success the past 3 years. It is going to be different, and this team in general is going to look a lot different in 2024. But that's really no secret. You look at the transfer portal and recruiting then as well. Losing a few players, C.J. Stokes, Darius Clements, as well as Reese Atterbury, and then Morian Walker. So, but they are bringing in Josh Prebe from Northwestern for the O-line, and then Jay Sean Barham from Maryland. Really no key players leaving, or there's just not too many. You'll see a lot more key players and significant impacts from the transfer portal for other teams, but Michigan is not necessarily one of them. But the recruiting 16th in the country, 4th in the Big Ten. Overall, not terrible. 18 4-stars coming in and 9 3-stars. The recruiting's overall pretty good, considering it's going to be a first-year overall head coach for Michigan in 2024. And I would say the future is still really bright for Michigan. Got this team at a 9 out of 10 on the future forecast meter. There's a little bit of uncertainty. That's why this team is at a 9. But I still feel like with the momentum that this team has coming off of a national championship season, they're still going to be good. There's no doubt there. It's just a matter of how good they're going to be. And I do think in 2024, it's no secret that this team's probably going to drop off a bit because of the talent lost and the experience lost and everything, coaching change. But I still think there are a lot of really good seasons ahead for Michigan, even though 2024 isn't going to be on the same level as 2023 or even maybe the past 3 seasons. But let's take a look at the schedule looking forward to 2024 now. So you start the season against Fresno State. They could be halfway decent, really not expecting too much out of them, but you do have a pretty winnable matchup there to start the season. Then you got Texas in week 2. This is going to be a huge standout game in the first part of the season. Texas coming in, they're going to be one of the main national favorites looking forward to 2024. They're returning a lot of their key talent, Quinn Ewers, and overall they're going to be a tough team in 2024. Could be even better than they were in 2023. So that's going to be a tough one in the Big House there in week 2. It's going to be nice to have home field advantage there, but with week 2 and still being early in the season, Michigan's going to look a lot different. That's going to be a challenging matchup there for sure for the Wolverines. But then you got Arkansas State and then USC, new Big Ten opponent, coming up here in 2024. In fact, you play 3 of the 4 new Big Ten teams in USC, Washington, and then Oregon. Don't play UCLA this season, but you got USC at home, Washington on the road in early October, and then Oregon at home in November. But obviously Minnesota kind of in between there to finish out September. Illinois on the road after your bye, Michigan State at home, and then Oregon at home, Indiana on the road, and then your second bye comes in mid-November. And then you got Northwestern and Ohio State to finish out the season. And for all teams this upcoming season, there are 2 bye weeks. I think it's something with week 1 starting fairly early. This is the 1 year in 6 years or so where there's 2 bye weeks for every team. But looking at the first month of action here, Fresno State, do think you take care of them. Same with the Arkansas State game. But I will say about Texas, I think Texas is in a better position for week 2 heading into that one. So I'm going to favor the Longhorns as of now. I'm not predicting wins and losses yet. I still think it's pretty early to do that, but I do want to lean Texas as of right now. They're going to be a team with experience, and Michigan still is going to be getting used to their new lineup. Once again, this is a team that's going to be looking a lot different in 2024. So it's going to be tough to beat a Texas team that could very well be even better in 2024. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Texas won a national title in this upcoming season. So that one's going to be tough, but it does help having it at home. So I wouldn't put it against Michigan to win that one, but I do want to lean Texas. And then USC, I think this is a close one as well. I'm going to lean Michigan here just because I think Michigan is in a better position. But this is one of those 50-50 games, USC with Miller Moss. I'm interested to see how they do in 2024, given the fact they were such a disappointment this past season. But I'd say ceiling's 4-0, floor is 2-2. Heading into the Minnesota game, I do think you beat Minnesota and also Michigan State. Both games are at home against favorable opponents. But then Washington and Illinois, 2 games that could be maybe a bit closer. Illinois, I really don't know much about them in 2024. They kind of disappointed last season. They obviously had a really good year in 2022. But I'm definitely favoring Michigan in the Illinois game. Washington's an interesting one. The Huskies aren't going to be the same in 2024. I think Michigan is in, honestly, a better position than Washington without a doubt. Looking forward to 2024. Washington lost a lot more than Michigan did. Both teams are going to have new coaches, with obviously Kellen DeBoer heading to Alabama. But I think Michigan's going to be in a better position to win that game. I'm going to favor the Wolverines as of now. But with it being on the road as well, which is definitely interesting, I do think that Washington could very well win that game. And obviously a rematch of the national championship last year as well, which is a huge storyline. So I think ceiling's 8-0 for Michigan, though, heading into November. 5-3 is the floor. Then you got Oregon. This is a really tough one here. I'm actually favoring Michigan as of now, and which, by the way, this is a brutal schedule. This is probably going to be one of the most difficult schedules in the country in 2024. I've got them at a 9 out of 10 on the schedule difficulty. Honestly, I could put them at a 10, given the fact you're playing Ohio State on the road. It does help you having a couple of these tough games at home, like Texas is at home. USC could be challenging. They're at home. Oregon's at home. But you're also playing Ohio State on the road and Washington on the road, which could cause for some trouble. But Oregon's really a 50-50 one. I feel like Michigan's I'm going to lean them for now, but Oregon I do think will be a better team overall in 2024. They are built to win for sure. And then Indiana on the road, Northwestern, 2 easier wins there. And then Ohio State on the road. Going to favor the Buckeyes for now. I think Ohio State's they look better looking forward to 2024 with the transfers and everything. I feel like Ohio State's more built to win in 2024 than Michigan is, especially going on the road there to Columbus. I mean, Michigan's kind of owned Ohio State the past few years here, but I think Ohio State's able to, or I'm going to lean towards them right now. I don't want to predict any games once again quite yet. But as of now, once again, this is a brutal schedule, and especially given that Michigan's going to look a lot different. This team won't be quite as experienced in 2024. Could be a challenging one for Michigan, but I think the ceiling's 12-0, floor is 8-4. As of now, I'd probably say this team is in between, I'd say 9 or 10 wins to be a little more precise about it. But I do think that Michigan still has a successful season, but obviously it's just not going to be the same given the fact they've lost so many of their key players. It's just going to be a different team in 2024. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on Michigan. Where do you think this team lands record-wise in 2024? Once again, a really difficult schedule, but there's definitely a lot of opportunity that comes with a tough schedule. But with that, appreciate you guys all watching as always. My name's Evan. This is All Sports Central. Stay tuned for more. We'll catch you on the next one.